So after quickly analyzing these tests, I went through and looked at each of the methods, made sure that the login method is good, as add method is good, and everything looks okay from my standpoint. So what I suspect is that the reason this test failed is because while it was running, I was moving the windows around, right? And sometimes if, for example, it's trying to type in the username and password into the fields and you're moving the window around, that can actually screw Selenium up and it can mistype something. I've seen that happen before. So you need to be really careful. So I believe that's why the test failed. So what I'm going to do is actually run it another 1 or 2 more times to validate that everything is okay. So I'm going to drag that over here for you guys. So see, I may have dragged it over during that state when it was trying to type in username and password. And so that's what caused a failure. So you need to be careful of that. But since I'm doing demonstrations, obviously I'm dragging the windows around. So it makes my testing seem a little bit more unstable when it really is not. So you guys can see that the test passed. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and run it one more time just to be extra sure. And in the future, we can improve upon this framework, and I'll teach you guys how to do that maybe in the future, is create a automation test validator that is going to run your automation test in like a loop of 20 to make sure that it is extremely stable. And so when you run it in a loop of 20, you want to make sure that you don't get a single failure. But if you do get a failure, you want to easily be able to figure out why it failed. And that's a very nice automation testing framework that's not only stable, but it also helps you to diagnose the problem very easily, which is really awesome and will make your job that much easier whenever it comes to figuring out why a test failed. So anyways, you guys can see that the test has successfully passed 2 times, which to me is satisfying. And that about wraps it up for us with our automation testing framework. I do really want to go back and talk about everything that we have covered, wrap everything up, shove a few final points back into your head, because we have covered so much, and I think that a concluding lecture is absolutely necessary.